Before we get started, please watch the entire video because there will be team and driver stuff. I will post the confirmed teams after I'm done talking. So yeah, if you don't want to hear me talk for a relentless period of time, even though you should, to get the full info, just skip to that point. All right, thanks. Alright, here's some more out-of-character stuff that's going on for, ARCSOA Season 8. One of which is that I did, mention in the first video that, that ARCSOA is going to use only full names next season. So therefore, no names like F1 Fan, Kanjek, names like that, Rovanami. You actually have to have real names. So that's the first thing that I'm going to tell you right now, is that you have to have real names. And another thing about this real name thing is, your driver cannot participate in the Sony Cup Series and ARCSOA at the same time. And no, it's not because I hate the Sony Cup Series with all might and power. No, it's in fact the opposite of that. It's because I have respect for the Sony Cup Series that I have talked with Fuel that we are going to have our leagues coincide with each other in this fictional universe. So therefore, races will probably take place where are on the same day at two different racetracks at the same time. So realistically, you can't be in the ARCSOA Elite Series and Sony Cup Series. Night races, ARCSOA Lights, probably you can be. You can probably be in ARCSOA Lights, because those races would take place on Saturdays, and I think Sony Cup would take place on Sundays. So, yeah, if your driver's in Sony Cup Series, and if you really want them to be involved with ARCSOA, there are plenty of opportunities. There is something that, there are three one-off races I'm going to do. Three one-off races I'm going to do. I think three. There might be a fourth. Where your driver will, where it will fictionally be taking the Sony Cup Series off dates. And I think Fuel might have their Crown Jewel race, which Sony Cup Series, Crown Jewel, their biggest event, be on one of ARCSOA's off weeks. And your drivers in Sony Cup Series can attempt ARCSOA races and vice versa. If their Crown Jewel one-off race could be a week that ARCSOA drivers can go over there. So that'll be interesting. One of which will be definitely the round of Indianapolis. You can do that. Plain, flat, simple. Indianapolis will definitely be a one-off date. The next one would probably be Mount Panorama Bathurst, which despite how bad it was this year, I've got it to the point where the car, with the I&I settings that I use, the new car next season doesn't exactly fail as bad as the one did this season because of its width. I'm still going to do a little bit of editing to make it a little bit cleaner of a race. But what's going to happen is that race, I'm thinking, will be a 161-lap race, similar to the Bathurst 1,000-kilometer race there. And we will need relief drivers for the full-time drivers. So there will only be 24-ish cars taking the grid for Bathurst. Maybe I might allow some one-off entries, but then after, let's say, the second cycle of pit stops, you will have a relief driver jump in and whatnot. So that will be interesting to see. And then after like another two cycles, then your driver might swap out. So after that, the third one would probably be a new round, the round of Spa-Francorchamps, which will be something kind of like Indianapolis, where I will allow one-off drivers. Another thing I might do with Bathurst is I might run a fictional. I might also have a bunch of fictional cars come on in, which would symbolize the V8 Supercar Series. So that one I will do. I might do that. And so we might have 30-something cars starting Bathurst. And I could probably do something like Dutch DTM with Spa. But, yeah, those races I will allow one-off drivers, because all three of those races are going into the next major thing that I am introducing next season. double points races. Indianapolis, Bathurst, and the Spa-Francorchamps race will be double points races. You're probably thinking with the point system we're using, it won't work. Well, luckily for us, I'm not using this year's point system, much to all of your groan. I'm going to a IndyCar / Formula One point system, much of an improved version of the Season 3 point system I used for the first part of Season 3 in ARCSOA. So this point system I know will probably work, so I'm still doing some tweaks on it, but those races will be worth double the points. So it's really important to get those races done, finish them, and finish high. So other than that, ARCSOA Lights. Like I said before, you can be in Sony Cup Series and run ARCSOA Lights. ARCSOA Lights, all of your ARCSOA Lights entries are eligible for the Elite Series one-off races. All of your Elite Lights drivers can race in the Elite Series in the event of an injury. And yeah, ARCSOA Lights is a more diverse series. I'm not going to expect too many cars in it, like maybe 12, 13, maybe 15 at the most. So, yeah, don't expect too many cars, but in that, I'm not expecting to fill the full 20-car field that it can do, but if I get a lot of people, why not? I might, then. The round of Indianapolis, the touring car mod I have has 56 available cars. So, there could possibly be 56 cars attempting that race for 24 spots. And boy, what a race would that be. With no one locked in. So, other things are, yeah, expect about the same amount of about 14 races this season. For Season 8. Maybe I might raise it to 16, because there's 14 this season. And that little forum thing that I've been posting, the link in the description that have been points. If you guys want to post in that, make topics and whatnot, talk about your stuff there so we just don't put spoilers in the videos. It'd be greatly appreciated, actually, if you did. And you can get more in depth. Oh, ARCSOA Elite Series teams. Some of you have been asking me. I've got about 4 teams in that want to go for the 2 spots. 2 open spots that I'm going to leave to you guys, because the rest of the 6 will be my teams that I've created. 2 teams will be your creations. Your teams must have 3 cars. Okay? No 2-car teams, no 1-car teams, no 10-car teams, whatever. Must have 3 cars. I prefer it. You would actually be better, have a better chance of getting your team in there if you don't have all your drivers. If you have somebody other than yourself, other than your created drivers, I am fine by that. I would, in fact, almost guarantee you'll probably get a spot. So, yeah, 3 or 4... 3 cars, 2 of which would probably be your own, or 1 could be your own. I will allow all 3 if nobody else does, as a third, if you can't find a third driver that isn't yours, but none of your team, and I also, okay, on to the next topic, factory teams versus, what's the word I'm looking, feeder teams. All teams that you own, all teams that I don't own, those 2 teams that I won't own are going to be feeder teams. The factory teams are going to have higher car ratings. I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. They're not that much higher, but they will probably affect the result. They might skew the results a little bit towards the favor of the, and in fact, not even a little bit. They will make it easier to have a better result if you're in a better car. So finishing your championship in ARCSOA Season 7, Sony Cup Series if you're in it, if your driver's in it, etc., could really help you get towards a factory team. Now, I will say that the feeder teams are not always going to be that bad. I mean, sometimes they will be a decent team. Sometimes are decent run, but they just won't have the abilities that the top-tier teams do. Their ratings will probably be lower and whatnot. And on the final note, this year we're bringing in your own driver ratings. It's no more equal ratings anymore. It's your choice now. And what probably will happen is I will post something at the end of this video on how the rating system will work. And if your entry gets approved, or if you get approved for a ride, you will type in your ratings, your driver ratings block, and that will determine what you might get, and it will be interesting for you. And there's interest there too, because there's going to be a team leader who will have a ratings bonus of 5 for each. So the top and the lowest, your max and your min will be raised 5. The second driver will be equal. The third driver will be down 5 on your driver ratings. Not enough really to affect the results all that much, I don't think, but it could affect it, but I don't think it will that much. So the final news note is applying for rides. If you have to apply for rides either via message or by what is it? By message in my YouTube inbox, or I will give you a contract. If you want to apply for it, go ahead, please, because in this video, after I'm done talking, I will post the teams and who they are, and the 2 teams that you own I won't post yet. I will make a separate video for them. So yeah, those teams you can go for. There's some drivers that have already been filled. ARCSOA Lights will be open signups just like the Elite Series always was. So I am fine with that. If you want to go for your ride, if you want to go for a team, for a high-end team that maybe you didn't perform well, I will take that into consideration, and I could put you on a top-tier team then for your driver lineup. So I will have those in the description, who goes to what team afterwards. So don't fret about that. Alright, I think I'm done talking, so on to the team and ratings combinations.